Hello everyone. In this video I will walk you through how to create a network policies based on the question given in the exam. So let's get started. So I have framed the question something like this. Create a new network policy named, and this should be the name of the network policy. Allow port from namespace, and there are two conditions. This policy must allow ports in the existing namespace internal. So this policy should be applied to a namespace called internal, and it should allow to connect on port 80 within the same namespace. So basically within namespace internal, all pods should be able to talk on port 80. So that is first condition. Second condition, only allow access from other pods in other namespace named corp. So there must be another namespace called corp, and pods in that namespace should be allowed to come to connect, and it should also be on port number 80. So same namespace on port 80, pod should be able to connect, and other namespace named corp, pod should also be able to connect, but also on port 80. So to start, we'll just do some setup. This will already be done in the exam, but in this case, if you want to try this lab, this is the just basic setup you have to create. So I'm just creating a namespace internal, and I'm creating a namespace corp, and I'm labeling the corp namespace with some label like project equal to corp bar, and this will become important in when I show you the solution, and you can just check if the label has been applied or not. So I'll just copy paste this, and all the basic setup is done. Now this is the actual solution. So I'll just quickly walk you through. So we are creating a network policy, and name as is required in the question, and it must reside in internal namespace. So this is important. And then the second part is pod selector. So it is applying to all the pods within this namespace, and they are only incoming ingress policy type, and there's one incoming or ingress rule which is from. And this is part 1 which I talked about in my question. Allow pods within the same namespace on port 80. So first part is allow pods within same namespace. So this also pod selector means same within same namespace all the pods are allowed. And second part which I talked about, allow pods from corp namespace. So for the corp namespace we will be using namespace selector. That's why I have labeled the corp namespace with this label. It can be any label, so you have to go and check out in the exam what is the label. So you have to run this particular step, kubectl get namespace show label. So you have to check out what are the labels to the other second namespace. So I have used the same labels which are applied to the second namespace, and this is the second rule. And last part which I talked about are the ports. So this which I have mentioned, it should be on port 80 for both same namespace as well as outside the same namespace on port 80. And then I will create this network policy. So I'll copy this snippet of code and run it, or run that on live cluster. So my namespace has been created, and next I will just confirm by doing some test. And this may not be required for the exam, but if you have got time, you can definitely try it out in the exam, but it's up to you. But just to make sure the solution is correct, what I am trying to do is I am launching two pods in the internal namespace, and both are using their default port. So Nginx run on port 80 and Mongo run on this particular port, and I will let it run, and then I will launch a test pod, and I will see if port 80 is open in the same namespace and the other port 27017. So first one should pass because network policy should allow. Second one should fail because anything other than 80 should fail. So I copy this. Let both these pods start up, and both are running fine now. And I just need the IP addresses. So I will launch a test pod which will just try to connect to 80 and 27017. So now I am doing the test inside that pod. So first is Nginx, which is running on port 83, as you can see here. So this as you can see, it's able to connect. That's why the net connect NC is basically is a net connect. So it's saying open. So network policy is working fine. It's allowing the communication. Second is 27017, and this Mongo pod is running on port 104. So as you can see, it's not giving any result because network policy is denying any network communication. So I'll just Control C, exit, and that's from the same namespace. Now I will just show you with the second part, which is the outside the namespace. So herein I am launching a pod in the second COP namespace. This is also a test pod, and once I log in inside the test pod, I will run the both to net connect command for 80 and 27017. So I am inside the COP pod, and I will. So herein I have to change it to Nginx port 80. So from the other namespace also it's working fine, and I can just take from here. This is for the other Mongo pod. So again the same result. From the other namespace also the communication is being blocked. So I'll exit. That's all. If you just want to do a cleanup, you can copy this and run it. So I'll just perform the cleanup. That's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.